Alright, y'all, we're back with the fourth installment of the 3 for 30 series. If you're new, the 3 for 30 series is an excuse for me to talk about each and every NBA team as we head into the offseason, and I'm going to give my ideas on what I think this team is going to do or what they should do to further them to become a better team. For the series, I'm going to be talking about teams in order of the reverse standings, and so with this being the fourth episode, we bring on the Atlanta Hawks, who finished the season 20-47, and they have a good future ahead of them, so let's get right into it. So number one on my board for the Atlanta Hawks is to continue to build around Trae Young. They drafted Trae Young 2 years ago. He had an excellent sophomore season where he averaged almost a double-double and almost 30 points a game, and he seems to be a superstar in the making, and he's been if everything, if not more, than what the Hawks expected and wanted out of him at where they drafted him. Now, obviously, you can't just have your star player go out there and win every game for you. You need to have a good, balanced team around him, and especially with Trae Young, being that he is such a awful defender, and he's undersized and all that good stuff. The Hawks really need to keen in on getting him help defensively and getting shooters who Trae Young can use his playmaking abilities to get open and get good shots so that they can hit threes. Another part of Trae Young being a bad defender is that the Hawks are also going to need good rim protectors, and they recently traded for Clint Capela at the deadline, got him from the Rockets. He's a great rim defender, and he's also rim runner that can catch lobs from Trae Young. I was a little bit confused on why Clint Capela was a target for them, because they do have John Collins, who missed 25 games this past season due to PEDs, but John Collins had a very excellent season in the games that he did play. He is also up for an extension, as this next season will be his last on his deal from his rookie signing, but he did average 21 and 10 this year, a full double-double on, this is what really shocked me, 58, 40, and 80 shooting splits, which means he shot 50%, 58% from the field, 40% from three, which is incredible for someone who was not that great of a shooter coming into the league, and then 80 from the foul line. He also averaged 2.4 steals and blocks per game, better known as stocks, and again, he's a great defender, great rim protector. The fact that he's already able to shoot such a high percentage from three, and it was on a good amount of attempts too. I want to say it was 4 attempts per game. He's really grown into a player, and I think he's someone that they should definitely sign to a wealthy 4-year deal. Obviously, don't overpay him, but he is going to be a key piece for them if they want to get anywhere with Trae Young in the future. In addition to John Collins, they already also have Kevin Huerter, the starting shooting guard, and rookie small forward Cam Reddish, who a lot of people were quick to judge for kind of an off-season offensively at least, but I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to hammer this for, I don't know, and for however long it takes, but hold on to your Cam Reddish stock. He's going to be a great player. He's going to be a solid starting caliber player, if not more, and again, offensively, it was kind of a poor season for him, but defensively, he was everything you imagined, and he definitely brings a lot of help defensively on a team, like I said, that has a superstar who is very much an offensive-minded player. So having Cam Reddish, who can get in passing lanes, get deflections, get steals, get blocks, just like John Collins, is going to be a big help on the entire team. And all of this brings me to point number 2 on the board, which is the team options galore. Now, if you look at the current salary distribution for the Atlanta Hawks, you're going to see a lot of team options, aka a lot of potential years where they're going to have a lot of room under their salary cap to go out and make a play. Looking at it now, Trae Young and Kevin Huerter both have 2 more years that they are under the team option control for a very cheap price compared to how they're currently playing. And then you also have rookies Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter, who are also under team contract for the next 3 years, as long as the team plans on keeping them, which they should, because I already went over Cam Reddish, but DeAndre Hunter as well is a great addition for them off the bench. He might not necessarily be a go-to scorer, but in today's league, you need to have bigs who are able to handle the ball, play make, and defend, and DeAndre Hunter ticks all those boxes. might not be the best at all those things right now, but again, this was his rookie year and he showed a lot of promise, especially to be a point center like we kind of see Bam Adebayo doing in the playoffs right now. I'm not saying DeAndre Hunter is going to be as good as or better than Bam Adebayo, but think of the similar play types when you see DeAndre Hunter on the court. Now, the only issue with having so many of these guys on cheap contracts for so long while you're still being able to get into contention and make these long playoff runs is that eventually you will have to let at least one of them go because you're not going to be able to sign them all to these big deals that they're all going to want. You just have to hope that the Hawks don't make a thunder blunder, as I like to call it, and maybe trade away the wrong guy or let the wrong guy go. That's going to be on the front office, but that's still a few years in the future, so they'll probably have some time to figure everything out, watch the tapes, figure out which guys they want, which guys they feel like they can move on from, all that good stuff. So with the Hawks having all this cap space, you might be thinking, what are they going to do with it? And if it's this offseason that they're going to choose to make a splash, I'd advise them not to, because this free agency class, is not very loaded. There's a few quality players, obviously, like every draft class will have some quality players. But if you're looking for a more superstar level player who can fit alongside Trae Young and be a second scorer, second playmaker, or closer, you might want to wait until after this offseason and get through another season, because the 2021 and 2022 free agency classes are both loaded with talent, right, as it's projecting to be right now. But if the Hawks do choose to try and get some talent in this offseason, I came up with three names who I believe could be a good seamless fit for them. Option number one that I would like to consider for the Hawks is Chris Dunn of the Chicago Bulls. He's been a top defender in the league for a few seasons now, and he averaged just under 2 steals per game while only playing 25 minutes per game. And if you bump those numbers up to around 30, 33, low 30s minutes, he could easily be the steals leader for the NBA. He's that great. He moves his feet. Only issues with him is that he did shoot 26% from 3 on the season, which is pretty god-awful. And if you're going to surround Trae Young with talent, you want to make sure that that talent can shoot the ball so that they can't just defenses will then just be able to sag off and help on Trae Young, and with Trae Young already being undersized, it's not going to be good if he has extra help coming towards him. So obviously Chris Dunn will have to get those shooting numbers up. He has shot better in past seasons. He's never been a great shooter since coming out of college, but shooting's always something that can be worked on. I mean, we've seen some pretty terrible shooters turn into reliable type guys. I know Andre Iguodala just recently had a great shooting game from three-point land after a whole career of not being able to hit, and helped send home my Celtics. So take it from me, shooters can eventually shoot and will shoot, unfortunately. Chris Dunn's also a restricted free agent, which means that any offer that is sent to him this offseason can be matched by the Bulls. And while I wouldn't be surprised if the Bulls do match or it's kind of still up in the air right now whether the Bulls really want him or not. Again, he was only playing 25 minutes per game for them. They have other young guards like Kobe White who they want to get some looks at. Tomas Satoransky, I know they've been really happy with how he's played at the starting point guard spot. There's reasons why Chris Dunn hasn't been getting minutes, so maybe they feel fine just letting him go if a team sends a decent offer for him that they don't want to match. And I think the Hawks have the money to give him 12-15 million a year, and I think that's could be enough to pry him away from the Bulls, but again, we'll have to see. Option number 2 that I have for the Hawks is Joe Harris, who has proven himself to be a great 3-and-D guy. He shot 42% from 3 over this past season and was an above average defender. Even though he might not seem like it, he is gonna definitely play his hardest on defense. He puts a lot of effort in, seeing as he's not necessarily the most athletic guy, but he is someone that you can trust to have on the court at the end of games. Plus, he'd have a bit more size, just like Kevin Huerter, where he could play both the 2 and 3 spots, help Trae Young defensively, and again, just another great shooter to surround Trae Young with. And then the third option out of the free agency that I wouldn't mind seeing the Hawks pick up is DeMar DeRozan. And similar to Chris Dunn, DeMar DeRozan has never been a great three-point shooter. He shot 26% from 3 last season with the Spurs, which again is not great, but he has seen his numbers from 3 be in the mid to low 30s, which again isn't terrible, but also you'd want it to be better if you have Trae Young looking to find open people for three. But the bigger reason why I think DeMar DeRozan could be a solid fit is that he'd add a veteran presence to what is a very, very young Hawks team. He's also would be a closer who you can give him the ball in isolation late in the fourth quarter, and he can go get you buckets and win you games. I know we've seen it with the Raptors. He might not necessarily take you far into the playoffs, but DeMar DeRozan could be a good bridge towards that next superstar that they maybe get. If there's some way that DeMar DeRozan would accept like a 2-year deal for, I don't know, like low 20s, high 20s currently, millions, I meant to say low 20s to high 20s millions per year. The only issue with that one also, though, is that he does have a player option for next season that is set to be $27 million, which is why it makes sense for him to not take a lower offer than the one he currently has. But he's also seems to be fine in San Antonio, which is another reason why he might not look towards free agency. Again, he'll make $27 million if he just opts in, so we don't really know what DeMar DeRozan will do, but he isn't a somewhat ideal fit for this Hawks team if they do choose to go after someone in free agency this offseason. And that will do it for this Hawks 3 for 30 video, the 4th installment of the series. And as always, drop a comment down below if you agree or disagree with anything I have stated in this video. And as always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and thank you for watching.